Hey, what's going on, guys? John Santos, and welcome once again to this channel where we help build brands and businesses from the ground up. And in this video, I actually made it into Costa Mesa, which is where OmniPrint is based out of. And OmniPrint is a family-owned business who's competing and dominating the print industry. They're up against some of the biggest printers out in the market. And as I was here, I actually wanted to put together a video that's a little bit different than what I normally do, where I want to show you guys behind the scenes of what goes on to actually create a printer. So like what goes into the research, what goes into some of the inks that you receive, and how they're able to make these printers really come to life. All right, so I'm gonna take you guys behind the scenes. I was just talking to Victor and I said, Victor, we gotta do a different kind of video. And this is the video where we're gonna show you guys how everything works. So let's head on back there and get started. Cool, so we're inside the actual office, and this is obviously the reception area. Everybody has it. Hello. I didn't want to make it awkward for everybody, but I said we're gonna bring a camera in here, act as natural as possible, and we're gonna head over to Victor's office, who's gonna give us a tour of this place and really be able to run us down on some of the details that goes into building this operation. They're competing with some of the biggest companies, so they need to be flexible, they need to be resourceful, but then they also need to be innovative. Because as you're starting a business or as you're launching a product or brand, you need a product that's going to compete and make yourself stand out in the market. And that's what they're doing here with OmniPrint. So Victor, what's up, man?
John.
Thanks again for having us here.
No problem. How are you? Thank you for coming.
Great. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for giving us this tour.
No problem.
And allowing us to kind of get behind the scenes of what's going on.
Sure, a lot of good stuff here.
Yeah, so tell us, show me, I think the biggest thing that people probably ask about is the support and the training, because there's always a learning curve to some of the machines, right? Yeah. Like in any product that you get,
definitely.
You need to kind of understand it. So how does that go and how does that work? And what do you guys do?
So I always say, any machine is half the battle, right? There's got to be some major structure behind it on how you get help, training, support, research, new technology, all those kinds of things fit into what we're doing here. So this is our California office. We have an office in Korea and in Mexico as well. And here is kind of the headquarters.
That's awesome.
And we have a lot of elements like nicely packed in a small place. But the most efficient as possible that we can get.
That's amazing. So then it starts with the training, right? When somebody gets a machine, they're going to need to get the right training to learn how to start it up and how to actually fire it away, right?
Yep. Oh. So recently what we do is we set up an install where we help you load inks and install it, and then we set up a separate full trainer that just spends 4, 6, 8 hours, whatever that you need, to be able to learn the software, learn how to print, and pretty much when we're done with you, when you receive your machine, you already know how to print, how to start fulfilling orders. And I'll show you guys the demo room too, and I'll show you guys the training room.
Perfect. Yeah. So are we gonna head over to this one here? So this is where all the support happens, right?
Yeah. So here, when you call in, you have support people here taking care of any sort of technical issues. We have a machine here that can reference. We have full case management, so anytime you call, we log it in, and then everybody can keep tabs on who they're helping and make sure everybody's taken care of. So instead of waiting to go on site for somebody, we help them right away. And if we do have to go on site, we know what parts, what needs to happen. So that's how we do it. So this is one of our, we have support in Mexico as well for different markets and other places. This is our main California one.
Got it. Very cool. Okay. And then here you got your...
Yeah, here we got administration. So anything, there's 3 people. Like I said, we're more optimized than what we do here. So everybody's connected as a team. So this is about orders, fulfillment, making sure that your print orders are done, or your ink orders, making sure that machines are shipped on time. All that stuff is what this team does.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you have.
And here's a sales room.
All right, cool. Hello, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. Welcome.
We're filming here, so
this is Tanya.
She's in here doing work. We're just disturbing you.
No, it's good.
This is awesome. Cool. So you guys are just following up with all the leads here?
Yeah, exactly. So anything you see online that has the form or our phone number, it comes straight to here.
Got it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And what we do a little bit different is we actually, assign a rep right away as the first contact's made. So that's the person that walks you through the whole process. We're all about education, so we'll send out videos and we'll send out resources, but you have one contact that sees you through.
Yeah. Got it. That's good. So then you're not just thrown around, right? So
yeah, exactly.
One person responsible.
And one of the things that we do a little bit different is that every single rep knows how to print. Every single rep knows how to produce. They know what they're talking about. So for us, it's about coaching. It's not about saying, hey, our product's the best. It's more of like, hey, what situation are you in,
right,
and how can we help you? And that's how all our systems develop.
Cool. So far we've seen like some of the back end of in regards to how you actually are going to sell a product or train somebody up on a product. And what really fascinated me was this location in the back, because this is where everything really goes down.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of action going on. We're preparing for the ISA show in Vegas. So here we got, for example, we got the Cheetah. This is our latest industrial direct-to-garment, and it's getting packed to go. So there's a lot of action here.
And this doesn't just go UPS ground, huh?
No, yeah, we got a truck, and then we're gonna drive it all up there.
Awesome. Awesome.
So the team is actually leaving Friday to set up.
Oh, yeah, so and be all weekend.
Yeah. And the show starts on the following week. So it does take like 5 days to set up a show.
Right,
for us. So with the Cheetah, what we did is focus on how do we bring value to somebody that's already printing, but also wants to print more per hour, and also wants to do high quality of print and still keep the cost down. So that's why we do that here. So
that's awesome.
Everything about the Cheetah is designed here in California. So we do all the way from the shell of the machine, how it's gonna look, to how much it could print. We do all the engineering, we do electronics, hardware, all that stuff. So this has been about 3.5 years in development.
Right. And then you're gonna show us where that goes in the next part of this building.
Yeah, we do.
And this is cool.
One of the areas here, we'll see what they're doing, but these guys are training right now. So there's a few customers that are getting trained. There's 3 people here. All they do is train people on how to use the machines every single day. And these are all the remote trainings. So we use technology here a lot. We use Skype, Zoom, Hangouts, whatever we need to do to train somebody. And then that's why it's like a little quiet area for them to
be able
connect with the customer in the first time, show them how everything works. And then just go through the whole process from pre-treating to loading an image to printing and shipping.
Everything happens back there.
Yeah, exactly. So that one of the things that is pretty unique is that normally, other distributors, manufacturers, they'll buy the products from somebody else.
Right.
But I feel that in this new economy, we need to focus on making sure that all of the stuff that you do, you can innovate with. So maybe you could do something a little better. Maybe you could do something faster, and kind of we're in front of our customers all the time, right? So they're actually telling us what they need, so we work on that, and then once you guys see some of the cool stuff in the lab, you can kind of see and put more of that stuff together, because it's not just about, like I said, selling a machine is half of the battle. It's more of like, what are you thinking about the future, and how are you really focused on helping your customers succeed, right? There's got to be some investment in R&D. There's got to be some investment in the right people that can do it. Smart people that actually want to help. So that's what we're all about here.
Just continuing to fund that. And
exactly.
And here is where you store the chemicals, or?
Yeah. So here, after the quality check happens, everything gets batched, bottled. We could track every single bottle that goes out to make sure the quality stays consistent, and we all manage that from here. So
parts, replacement parts.
Yeah, exactly. So we have all the parts. everything that you need to repair your machines is here.
Right.
That way we could ship right away.
Oh. So somebody calls in and says, I need the PUC3 2000 or no?
Exactly.
No, somebody gets on support, right? Then they tell them this is what you need.
Yep.
And you guys are able to ship it out to them.
Today.
That's cool.
So that's the main thing is like we have this facility has everything here that's needed to support a customer.
Very
right?
cool.
Everything from chemicals to parts to machines to the humans.
Right.
Everything is here.
That's cool.
Right? And so those are one of the things that make us really different is that we don't have to call somebody, try to get some assistance from somebody else. Mm-hmm. We actually can handle everything from here. Yeah.
What's up?
So I started this business about 15 years ago, right? And I know every single piece because at the beginning I had to do it, right? So I had to work on R&D.
Right?
Yes, it was just me at the beginning, right?
So a little office or your bedroom or something?
Getting a little office, working on the machine, figuring out how to sell one, and then making the value for the customer so they feel compelled enough to buy it, and then supporting them, shipping it. Actually one of my favorite stuff was to get the orders at the end of the day, box them up, ship them out, and put the label on it.
Right.
And that's why it still fires me up today because it's like, all right, we're shipping value to somebody, right? So that's a cool little backstory.
So what was the beginning story? What's a story that you have about probably the most embarrassing moment that you had maybe shipping out a machine on your own, like as when you first got started? Is there a story where you're like, man, I used to do this, and then looking back at it is just hilarious?
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it to you this way. Some of the deliveries I had to like actually borrow a delivery vehicle. All right, where it's like, because I had a small car, I couldn't fit a machine in there, so I had to like convince people to help me, neighbors, that kind of stuff. Hey, let's go make this delivery, right? One time we dropped the machine and it went, fell right over. So that was pretty embarrassing because it was at a customer's place, and it was a borrowed car, to do that. So I think that there's a lot of importance in being able to do the grind and like start your business from nothing. Because right now, think about how the market is. It's really easy to get $1 million. It's really easy to get $5 million venture money, and kind of inflates yourself to say, hey, I'm running a business. But I always tell my customers, it's like, you need to figure out what's the best way, the easiest way for you to sell something, provide that extreme value to the customer, that they can give you a payment for it, and then you develop your business like that. And if you can do that, then later you don't need to borrow money, right? Later you don't need to have like a inflated version that, hey, I'm running this $1 million business, but you actually borrowed it.
$1 million,
And we see that a lot, right? But because remember, right now the economy is doing well. It's been doing well for a long time. I've gone through a few different crashes, and our business has been doubling every year for a very long time because we were able to provide that value since the beginning.
Right. So it's always important that you kind of create value, or you create a process that's very unique to you. So what we're about to go see inside is the R&D room where they actually build a lot of the components, where they actually test a lot of new chemicals. Because with time and with different blends, things change up. So it's always about trying to be ahead of the curve and create something special, right?
Yeah.
This is it. The R&D
this
room.
is it. So I wanted to tell you that this is a top secret spot. So you guys get like super access to seeing how actually the magic is happening. How David beats the Goliath.
This is top secret stuff. Like they even got a keypad here, and he's putting in his numbers right now.
That's right.
Check it out. Oh man, so there's a lot to take in.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll walk you through in a little bit of what we do. So Saeed is our head manager of R&D. So he's able to conceptualize pretty much the harebrained ideas that I come up with. Every time I come in this room, they're like shaking in their boots because it's like, oh, what does he want now?
Right.
But the main thing is we work on the drawings here. For example, here we're finalizing an automated shoe platen, right? Cool. So We work on all the actual everything from the electronics to how the shell is going to look. This is like a new LED liquid printer that prints upside down.
So it prints the components that you need for each of the pieces.
Exactly. So everything that comes, for example, this is what moves the shoe plant back and forth.
And then the shoe plant in itself, right? So the whole thing.
And everything. So every part that we do, this is designed to print different sizes of the shoes. So when you press the button, it'll stretch it out and it'll flatten it out for you. But in order to kind of conceptualize what we want, the fastest way to do it is we draw it, we print it, and we keep printing the parts until stuff starts working. We assemble it, and then we see, because it's a matter of the stuff has to work before we mass produce it in the back or in the other factory. But it all kind of comes from here.
That's crazy. So this whole piece here was developed in-house. So like this little square was this square, right? Obviously they just painted it, but
exactly.
Everything is right there. Like, it's legit. So this is all
even
like
the top and the bottom. We laser cut it in the back.
Except for the duct tape, right? That's the only thing that's not.
Yeah, that's specialized double-sided tape.
Double-sided tape.
Not made by us.
So then here is where like the plans are actually put together, right?
Yeah.
So like this is the CAD unit.
Yep.
This is some of the pieces that are being developed in 3D.
Yeah, exactly.
This is badass. So then, what's the craziest thing he's asked you to make?
So far, I guess this.
This?
We don't have any idea how to make it, you know. Just
Is there anything like it in the market?
No. So this is the only electronic version that does two sides and then stretches left to right.
Yeah. Damn, so you guys are gonna be making robots soon, huh?
Yeah, we can.
Cool. So
we're focused on printers right now.
Yeah, right. One domination at a time.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But you know, think about it this way: like, if you're a huge nerd, and this is like the most magical place for me.
Yeah, I bet. You're just coming up with all these ideas.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Automatic shoe platter.
Yep.
So then this is where chemicals are being tested.
Yeah. So here. That's Edgar. He's our main chemist.
He's a mad genius right here.
He's a mad genius right now.
So we shouldn't be disturbing
Say
him.
hi, Edgar.
hi. Sorry, I'm busy, but
What are you working on?
I'm testing the surface tension of this ink. I'm working with ink for polyester fabric. So
what's the main challenge with polyester fabric that you have? Like when it comes to some of the developments, or what are you striving for?
The surface tension. We need to achieve the correct surface tension to bind the fabric with the ink. And you know, you have a wrong surface tension, you can bind anything.
Got it. So you're always like trying to find the right formula for it, better formulas for it.
Yeah, because it has to stick, right? The bottom line, it doesn't matter how pretty it is, it has to stick to that material. And it's a challenge with any of the other inks in the marketplace. You might be able to print it after a few 3-4 passes, but then it washes off, right? So that's why we're the only ones in the marketplace with a machine like this that can print on 100% dark polyester.
Wow.
But the only way it takes is like to be able to reformulate, redo different ideas, and trying to achieve what you want, right? So
you're in here like every day trying to get the best ink.
Yes. I like it.
Because I think last time I came in here, you were still formulating different inks too. So
exactly.
it's like literally
it's every day. It's an everyday thing because things keep changing. We're already a year and a half into our next innovation, right? So how do you do that? It's an everyday thing. That's the only way around it. Because I tell you that the competition is not doing it. So how do you take something from zero to something big? Is by doing what others aren't willing to do.
And it's like a compounding effect. So these little changes you guys are doing are going to compound in a year or 2 years to be something that's completely different, and everybody's like, there's no way that works.
Exactly. It's funny because, for example, when Edgar came on board a while ago, this is pretty much the only chemist that knows how to pre-treat, knows how to print, knows how to produce garments.
Check him out.
Seriously. But this is the thing. He's like, hey, I'm highly educated. I have a master's degree. What's the deal? Why am I printing here? for a month straight, right? Because that's what it takes to know the product that you're developing. And then now he could formulate something, print it, test it, wash it all in one day, right? And then every single day, remember that we're failing. Every single day we're failing, we're closer to making something new.
Yeah.
Right?
And this isn't no like Elizabeth Holmes stuff, right? Where you're dealing with pricks of blood.
Yeah,
like
no.
This is a little bit more
we
on
tried
the
it.
t-shirt
Yeah,
side,
exactly.
but same thought concept, like trying to achieve something that's impossible, right? Or
Yeah.
in terms of something that people didn't think was possible, and then it starts to roll out, and then everybody tries to also do their version of it. So you're always got to be ahead of the curve, right?
Exactly. It's funny, the first year, we still heard, the competition at shows saying, "Hey, nobody can do it. Nobody can do it." Well, but we're the type that does it at the booths. We do it on YouTube. We do it everywhere. We get people to come in, and it's all about the proof is in the pudding. Bring your USB stick, and then we'll show you how it's done right in front of you, right?
So then what else? So the inks go on here, new components, and what are you guys testing on these machines right now, or what's some of the things?
So every time you saw that we have all the batch numbers of the inks back there.
Right.
So we do something a little extra when it comes to quality control of inks. So when we're mixing a batch before we release it, we actually do like physical, real life testing in a machine. So we have a protocol that we run here, like a customer would. We run a ton of prints, nozzle check. We run even more prints than that. We nozzle check it, then we wash test it, right? Then Edgar will certify it.
Got it.
Yeah.
So if it's Edgar certified, it's good to go out.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not.
Wait.
Yeah. and all the testing required for a chemical formula of inks can happen here. Right. So we do viscosities, surface tensions, filtering. All sorts of different computations of how much solids are in the ink. All that stuff is done here.
And you guys also do the machine components, so new updates to machines.
Yeah,
new machines
exactly.
is all developed here.
Yeah.
So was the Cheetah developed here too?
Yeah. So the Cheetah, all the electronics, all the hardware, all that stuff's developed here.
Designed here too?
Yeah, designed in California. Yeah. So we actually have a designer that works with me on the how it's gonna look.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you make it fit, or you give them the specs as to what you need.
Yeah, because how sexy can you make a printer, right?
Yeah. All right.
But there's actually not only how it looks, but how I envision that we can make it move, what it has to have, all that stuff. That's how typically it starts.
Right.
I learned that from the customers, visiting sites, what they might need. And then we start from there. Then all the engineers get involved, and then they actually make it work.
Wow. So then the ideas and stuff start up in this room and start developing in this room, and then it branches out to what it is.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So then, you literally have everything to test.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's in here.
They got sneakers. So that sneaker platter is to the most popular chucks, right?
But the most popular chucks. Yeah. So people. Always ask us about it. So we're like, we're just gonna develop something, but something that's a little better. It makes it easier for people to load it, print on it, and then if you already have one of our printers, what's better than us being able to give you more tools and more leverage to make more money? Yeah.
So what would you say is like one of the bigger challenges in the R&D or in this department? Is it
besides paying for it and feeding them?
Right. All right, it doesn't come cheap.
Yeah, right. I would say it's really easy to think that we need to do everything now and we need to do everything is urgent. I think prioritizing what your customer actually needs first, that's actually a challenge because actually we're all complete nerdies here and we all want to do cool stuff, right? But what does the actual customer want
right now?
Yeah. And I need, for my team, there's more than 50 employees now, right? So I need to focus on where our team's gonna go 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now, and we need to start working on it now, right?
That makes sense.
So yeah, exactly. So 2019, we already planned it years ago.
And now you're working. You already started working it before, and now it's finally on the table.
Exactly.
And I think that's the beauty of like when you're actually coming up with ideas like that. Like if you try to rush it to market, it just doesn't work on the back end.
Yeah.
And you end up getting delayed, right, to the launch anyways, and things don't work out the way it should.
Exactly.
So you work your way into it.
Plus, another thing I learned, and this is not just part of our R&D, but even then, everything that you work on and you try to release, remember this, you got to stick it out. Because it always kind of sucks at the beginning.
And it's painful.
It's always kind of painful, right? It doesn't matter what it is. And you possibly should be a little bit embarrassed to release it. If you're not a little bit embarrassed, it means you might be launching too late, right? And somebody else already beat you to it, right? So, but learn from the customer, make sure that when you do, you're right there to make the fixes, and then release the right product for the right customer, and then you'll see the market will tell you.
Yeah,
the market will tell you.
And I think this is like even going with like even on the consumer side of things, like whether you buy the Samsung watch, right? I remember when that came out, my in-law had it, and he gifted it to my wife, and it was like this big brick on her wrist. And she got a little wrist, but the brick was like this big, right? And I was just like, why would they even launch that, right? But then now I see their new models, it's like a sleek watch. And it's just like steps in the right direction.
It
right?
is,
so
and that's the thing. Don't be afraid. Just keep at it. Right? And remember, in here, we have to be really positive, because remember, we're failing every single day.
Not working.
So think about it that way. So it has to fire you up to get to the next thing. You learn and you make things better, right? That's what we're doing here. But at the same time, if a current customer has certain current issues, we have the knowledge here, we have the tools, we have the experience, and we help right away, right? Whereas somebody else, they don't have this. They just bought a machine from somebody, and you have to send them there and all that, and they don't have the experience with it. Right? So that's the side benefit, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do everything in-house, so we can have that learning and have that control. Right.
You're able to do what the market demands. Right?
Exactly.
Cool. So then let's go check out, so obviously you got the R&D side, you got the inks, you got your team that sells, the admin that supports. And then when somebody actually buys something, you guys also provide in-person training and demos, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go check that room out. And see how everything works over there. Oh, so this is where the videos go down, the trainings go down.
So if somebody walks in, they want to get some information about our products, they have a demonstration, we actually do everything here, right? So we even if they bring us garments, we help them pre-treat it, we show them how to do it, we load the artwork, we show them how to print. All that stuff happens here.
Right here. So you take them through the whole steps in terms of everything that they'd go through.
Exactly.
How they better understand it. That's awesome.
And then we want to show people like different options that they have, depending. For example, somebody says, I need to print hats. It's what I do. Then we show them that. I want sleeves. I want, I do toddler stuff. I like sportswear. Because remember, our job is to make sure that whatever the need of the customer is, to help them fulfill it. Right. And show them how it's done live. It's not about like, hey, just buy it and then you figure it out. We actually are cool with somebody coming in, testing, doing some work, and then figuring out if it's going to work for them. You know how I sold the first Cheetahs, it's not cheap, $260,000, right? But it produces fast, right? But you know how I sold the first one? Is customer comes with boxes of hundreds of shirts and their image, and they're like, hey, this is how I'm gonna know if I'm gonna buy it or not. So okay, well, they get in front of the machine and they brought their staff and they get to run a job. So they ran a job for about 3-4 hours, and then they did the math. All right, this is how many shirts I did, this is how the quality they came out. And there you go, right? So we're not ashamed of saying, hey, you know what, bring your stuff, bring your artwork, and then we'll show you, right? And that's why it's important for everybody here to know how to print, every sales guy that knows how to print, because it's not just about giving somebody a quote and here, pay me first.
Right. It's got to be about the numbers, and that's always important for anything that you do, any product that you launch. you got to really know your numbers, equipment costs, ink costs, labor, overhead, your lights, your food, you know, like everything's got to be calculated into what goes into making that product. And I think that's amazing that you guys are able to run people by that. And a lot of people that sometimes meet with salespeople, they feel that they're just pushing them to buy something, but at OmniPrint, you guys do things a little different to make sure that they're fit for it, right? So if you're not able to make the money, then they'll probably tell you, you know, you should probably not look at this right now, right?
Yeah, or you know, have different options. For example, there's a lot of free videos that we put out, right? That's more based on knowledge, right? Oh, this is how you would calculate this is how you would calculate that. That way you can kind of, you know, a customer can get really familiar with what the costs are going to be. And sometimes if you want to do, if you're not ready, right, if you don't have at least 5 shirts a day to do, maybe you can outsource it to a current person that's printing, right? And then start there and make some money, right? The fundamentals of it. And then go that route. And we're not scared or ashamed to tell somebody, hey, this is what I suggest you start with, because it'll bring you to the path of selling something, providing that value that I talked about, and then now you know that buying a printer is the right thing to do, and it's the easiest decision for you because you're going to save money because you're already printing, right?
Right.
So we do all that stuff here.
That's awesome. Man, Victor, this is amazing to see, man. And everybody that's out there that's actually watching this, right? So there's somebody on the other side of that camera. We just gave him a tour of your facility. This is a man that started up OmniPrint years ago, back in 2003. Anything that you'd like to share with somebody that perhaps is watching, or maybe something that we could be expecting from OmniPrint? Yeah,
so I would say, you know, I started this from zero, right? I started this with no seed money, right? And it's more about how can I help somebody do the same on their own side, right? So for example, some things that I still keep doing every single day, my main job is to keep learning, right? Because I learn from my customers what they need. So always learn from your customers what they need, because they might tell you what your next product's gonna be, right? And so sometimes, you know, and I invest a lot in learning, right? I go to seminars and I go, you know, I buy books and all that stuff. So that's how I can push myself to do better. So, and I think that sometimes we get stuck with what we know and what we're doing, right? But then we repeat it over and over again, and then we're not happy, like, with the results, right? So I would say that, you know, always reach out to mentors, reach out to people that have done it, right? Reach out to people that can help you, right? On this business, like, we can be that company, we could be that mentor, and we could push you in the right direction, right? So that's a big takeaway for me, that we actually want to help our people make more money and be successful.
That makes sense. That's amazing. Well, dude, thank you for having us here and showing everybody your facilities. The first time I came here, I didn't really understand that you guys, I didn't understand the process of that you guys actually made your inks and that you made all these little components on site, right? Because a lot of the things are built, obviously they're manufactured in a different area, but it's all created here. And I think the biggest, the biggest connection I had was to the products that we also create. Like we said, we need our own sampling facility because we can't just try to make it with a factory and go back and forth, and then that takes forever. It's expensive and it doesn't come out the way it should because you're not there really understanding that process. So if there's anything that you guys take away, it's the fact that you really need to understand your business that you're getting into and the products that you're selling. So if it's t-shirts and just if it's just printed garments, then you need to understand every aspect of the t-shirts and of the printing, whether it's DTG or screen printing. And OmniPrint is a resource for everyone out here that's interested in looking more into their machines or perhaps just learning more about the DTG industry. And I'll be able to link the links right down below so you guys are able to check that out and get on a call with a staff member here to learn a little bit more about what they do here at OmniPrint. So Victor, once again, man, I can't appreciate you guys enough.
Thank you, appreciate you for coming.
We will see you guys in the next video that we've also are gonna link right next to here. So we've done some cool videos.
We're gonna be doing more stuff. The thing is to provide value to people, free content, and help you really get to your goals.
Exactly. Cool, guys. So appreciate every single one of you guys. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button and share this video with a friend that needs to see how things operate and how you could also apply it to your own business and in your own life. All right, so I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
See you guys.